Hello, my name's Danielle. I'm going to be doing a speech on the Native Americans and to show the difference between how they lived and how we live nowadays. Native Americans, they're the ancestors of our land, and going back to the basics of living may show us that the things that we take for granted every day. They lived a much more family centered life than we do now. They were dedicated to their families. They did not have tablets and cell phones and Facebook and YouTube. They didn't even have TVs. They were very family centered and they did most everything together. So, in present time, we have cars and airplanes and all kinds of different transportations that pollute the earth. The Native Americans, they basically had their feet or rode their horses to get to wherever they needed to go. We have cars and airplanes and just stuff that pollutes the land. It was a much safer time, much more environmentally safe. Women were primarily the seamstresses of the tribe. They would make all the clothing and jewelry, all the shelter. When they would prepare the animal, the hides for clothing or whatnot, they would use every piece of the animal hide. Nothing was wasted. With the women being the teachers in the family, it gave them more time to bond and really appreciate the time that they had together with their families. Nowadays, we have everything done for us. Our clothes, we can just go to the store and buy them. Our homes, you could just go somewhere and tell them what you want to have built. It does not give us the time to bond over things or teach our children things that can be passed down from generation to generation. Instead of learning these traits, we have kids on their tablets and iPhones, basically melting their brains. Women, instead of staying in the home, are choosing to go to school, get an education, and find their career first before they settle down and have a family. Struggling for food, clothing, and to live day by day is not the only struggle among the Native Americans, but among many people nowadays. Now that I've discussed the struggles, let's talk about the roles family members played. The men knew that the women were the source of life and provided a feeling of strength and consistency to their lives. The women were everything in these families. They built the houses, they helped their husbands find food, and made sure there were means to living. The fathers and the sons would go out and hunt for food and protect their family from danger. This was a bonding time. There are a lot of things that distract us from having that family bonding time. Social media is a big role in less bonding time. There's no family time anymore. Parents have to work hard just to keep the household running, and children spend most of their time on tablets and Facebook and phones. Once again, showing how technology is basically not tearing our families apart, but enabling to spend less family time together. Daughters learn how to be good providers from their mothers. It was almost an expectation that when the daughters were old enough, they would leave the home, get married, and become the everything for their family. In today's age, daughters go off to school and get an education, and then they worry about having a family. Discussing the roles that family members play, we can go into how they all came together to fight the struggle to keep their land and family together. Native Americans had to fight hard to keep what was theirs from being taken from them. Now we go and intrude someone else's land, and it's a huge war. The Native Americans believed that no one could own the land, but that they could use it. Nowadays, it's just a struggle to keep non-Americans out of America. When the American was discovered, They didn't think that anybody was living in the land, but the Indians were, and it was a huge battle to keep their land from being claimed by the outsiders, the intruders. Much like us, now we have people coming into our country, not necessarily trying to take it over, but they're trying to make a life for themselves. What role do the Native Americans play in today's society? They could show us ways to live without all this technology, ways to become more family orientated, teach kids that there's more to life than just sitting on their tablets or iPads or whatnot. The Native Americans were much more family orientated. They did not have the technology that we have now. They lived just as well as we do, if not better. They were more family orientated. They showed their children things that they would be able to pass on to their children.